We're on ahead of time, got everything together, and already our favorite person spat me a question in a group chat. Get to that. Get to that in a few minutes. And in my mind's eye, I was cussing out the setup. So we'll get to and through all of that. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Sports Senseis Unleashed. That's Drew. I'm Brian, and we're gonna get to a lot of football talk, but we're gonna start with a WWE takeover again. Whew.
Snowman, it has been absolutely redonkulous what we have been witnessing here with the WWE since the start of this new year.
Yep.
Vince McMahon announces he's coming back, but on the business side of things, won't be messing with creative or whatnot. And then all of a sudden, Stephanie McMahon, while we're having a show last Tuesday night, Rob and I were having episode 71. Breaking news during the show, Stephanie McMahon resigns around 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, Tuesday evening, and gives the full CEO compatibilities with Nick Khan, who will then be running WWE as far as the CEO standpoint. But who's really running WWE?
Because we already know the answer to that question.
Vince has had the majority shareholding since, the beginning of time. He sold some stock off, repurchased it, kitty in the house. But
say hi, Winnie.
What's up, Winnie?
This is Winnie.
Winnie's
she got up to the house again. She got up here to the main house and just been crying. Haven't you?
Well, Winnie and Vince McMahon have something in common, Snowman. They are destined for the limelight. They cannot stay out of it. So Winnie is here with us in the limelight as we talk about Vinnie Mac. And Snowman, Vinnie Mac with the shareholding. He's had the majority shareholding. At some point, if there was going to be a sale, we knew this was going to happen. Now, what he's told creative is he just wants to basically entertain the thoughts of a potential sale going forward, meaning I feel like he's going to continue to, play around with this whole sale thing for the next 6 to 12 months and then eventually decide not to sell it and then just basically restructure things back to where they were. He may decide to leave creative with Triple H because of how the ratings have been over the last 6 to 8 months since he lost control or gave up control of the creative, process.
Right.
Because if he steps in now and makes major changes, you're going to lose a lot of viewership. A lot of talent's going to want to jump ship. We're going to have a huge debacle all over again. But Stephanie McMahon leaving speaks volumes.
I mean, she saw that and headed for the hills. She saw Vince McMahon back in WWE in any capacity. She saw him back in, and first of all said,
"Are you kidding me?"
And then,
"Oh, hell no!"
And on top of that, she ran for the hills. She ran for the hills. I mean, do you blame her at this point in time? Nope.
No, I mean, she was on a leave of absence before he even decided to step down anyway. And now that the heat's over, he's already paid his money out. Everybody's hushing up now because he spent the money necessary to keep it hush-hush. All these things are happening behind the scenes. He comes back, wants to bring in, regain control, then brings in it's 3 new board members that were existing board members that he had during his last tenure because he knows they are yes people and will definitely give him the votes that he needs.
Basically, yes men.
Yeah. So
yes man.
If he decides to be part of creative, which I feel like at this point in his life at 77 years old, he doesn't need to be taking on all the things that he was taking on at one point because he was slipping through the cracks with different things and they came to light, which what he was doing was a pretty big crack to be slipping into. But when you think about all that in perspective, if he does this part just to potentially sell it, even though they were talking about selling it to the Saudi Arabian group last week, which was a huge, huge rumor, that's not potentially happened. AEW is not going to swoop him in and buy it. This is going to be a long process that is going to drag out through the majority of this year because they have a media rights deal they're negotiating that they will sign in 2024. with either Peacock and Fox and all that stuff they set up 4 years ago, it expires at the end of this year.
Yeah.
2024 is a big year in professional wrestling. The media rights deal for WWE and AEW expire and had to be renegotiated before those dates in 2024. 2023 is going to be a big year in wrestling, and I don't think that Vince is going to want to screw it up too bad, because if he does, it's going to mess up with the media rights deal. And he already is aware of how things have been since he's left. He needs to stay behind the scenes, keep his fingers out of creative, and just let the people do what they do best, and just let the ship keep cruising upward.
Yeah. Because it took him a long time to get back to this point. And it's like I mentioned, you remember you remember to get the F out campaign? 2002 and how that went sideways?
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, World Wildlife Fund comes in, swoops in, takes the name. I don't think that things would be any different with the F. I think for the fans' viewership, potentially, maybe, but as far as the product itself and how it got stale for a while, and then how we had the resurgence in 2022, I think all that would have gone down the same. I don't think that having an F or an E on the end would have made a difference. But I'm with you. I would have much rather had that F on there, because it was a lot cooler when I was a kid to say the WWF champion than when we're getting older to say the WWE champion.
I grew up with WWF.
Yeah.
I grew up with WWF. Sick Diggy joining us from Norway. He has been plotting the whole time he was away. You agree with that?
Yes. I believe so.
Me too.
And I was jokingly saying this, and until he sells his shares, anything can happen. And just like Triple H told the talent in the meeting on Friday night before the SmackDown show aired live, he said that Vince is only here to do the business side of things. When it's nothing to do, or I wouldn't say he didn't want anything to do, but he was going to let people do what they do best and not shake things up. However, he said the same thing on December 20th when he sent the email out to everyone that said he intends on returning in January. With the voting for his side, which it was, because he has 70% voting power. So of course he voted himself back in.
Of course.
So when you think about all that, he tells Triple H to tell them, he's not going to be a part of the creative process. He's going to make suggestions, but at the end of the day, Triple H has the ultimate say-so in what happens. But at any time that could be vetoed, because Triple H then told them at the very end of the meeting, anything can happen. So just basically keep doing what you're doing. Let's keep driving these numbers the way they are. And if we keep driving great numbers and we do what we do best, he's going to leave us alone and just stick with the business side of it. Because Vince has had over 40, 50 years of being a part of the creative process. He needs to stay out of it now.
Yeah. We'll see how my closing statement will be. Let's see how long that lasts. That's all I gotta say. We'll see how long that lasts. Speaking of how long something lasts, how long will the game last tonight before it becomes Blowout City? We'll get to that and all the wildest of the wild card from Wild Card Weekend when the Sports Senseis continue.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, W-I-Z-E.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast.
And welcome to those of you listening throughout all of our affiliates on the audio side, as well as all the folks that are dialed into us via TuneIn. All right, let's get to the meat of the program, which is the wildest of the wild cards. And Sam Hubbard rescued the Bengals last night. We said last night when we did in-around sports debate that game would be a wash. It was until Sam Hubbard rescued the Bengals.
Snowman, the first we didn't miss anything in the first quarter or whatnot that we missed while doing that episode, and we called that spot on.
We did.
Now, I did watch the majority of the remainder of the game. I did happen to miss that fumble return until I had to watch this morning because I passed out, from doing a show yesterday and doing stuff throughout the day yesterday. And
right.
then, we had football, exciting football for the most part, even which we'll get to that game in a minute. The Dolphins and Bills was more exciting overall than this game last night.
Yes.
But the fact that the Ravens had a chance had they managed the clock a little bit better. Now, I know that they had 4th and 20 for their last play, but had you had a few more seconds to orchestrate that play and to not be rushing around as much as he was, I feel like they would have had a better chance to get that win.
I agree.
It just goes to show that clock management is a big factor in games, as we saw with the San Diego game over the weekend as well.
Oh, God.
So, when we put it on perspective, it was a really wild weekend. The only game that we watched that we knew from start to finish that they had was the San Francisco game. That was it, which I give you props. So, I don't have any papers around, but I'll give you one individual receipt.
Give me
not a stack.
Receipt.
You get one
receipt.
They only won one game. You get one receipt. And
you owe me more than one.
No, just one individual receipt. And you know what? You're pushing your luck. I'm about to rip it in half and give you half a receipt.
Why are you only giving me half a receipt?
Because it's only one game. He is not Thomas Edward Patrick.
Wait a minute. And you can't say that without laughing.
I know I can't.
You tried so hard to say that without. Listen, I've been guilty of the same. I have been guilty of the same. But you can't say that without laughing because you tried so hard to keep it in and you wanted to ball your fist up and make your face into a fist so badly. But then you're like, doggone it, I can't do it. See, even my little Winnie called you out on that.
Hey, you little Winnie. We got little Vinny that we were just talking about. We got all sorts of Innies and Winnies and Vinnies going on up in here. Shout out to Sick Diggy as well for being
shout out to Sick Diggy for hanging with us this afternoon.
The difference between WWE and AEW is that there isn't a lot of backstabbing in the former.
Yeah.
The latter is lacking in leadership, creative, and cohesion in the locker room. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. There's not a lot of whole backstabbing in AEW, but they do lack the leadership, creative, and cohesion in the locker room.
Well, so this little one was watching the 49ers game with me on Saturday until we had to go out and feed the rabbits in the barn. Why are you trying to get loose? See, she hears the sports talk and all of a sudden she just starts struggling. Come here. She hears the truth. She's probably gonna go find mama now. But she was hanging with me. She was hanging with us yesterday because we watched a lot of the Bills Dolphins game. We'll get to that one. We'll get to that one in a moment. But the only game that wound up being a blowout was the 49ers and the Seahawks. And that took to the second half. But then when the second half started, the 49ers played ball the way they know how to play ball. They ate the clock for 10 minutes. And then Nick Bosa showed up.
The Bozes both were pretty destructive this weekend.
One positive, one negative.
But on the other side of it, because you saw how Joey was throwing his helmet at the end of the game because he knew how ridiculous that was to be up 27-7 at halftime and then just give that game up. Like, that was absolutely ridiculous to man. Like, I don't know what was going on in their heads.
You just wonder what's next for Brandon Staley.
Oh, well, you saw that graphic I put up last night.
Oh, yeah.
I
saw it.
He was doing his yoga position and just giving it up to the other team.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nicest
way. That's the nicest way. Like you said, that's the nicest way to put it. I wasn't so nice. I said, Brandon Staley,
you're fired.
And of course, Charger fans came after me.
Moot him.
And that a few times. But again, I just repeat my statement. Hey, Brandon Staley,
you're fired.
And then just to take it off the rails just a little bit more, who actually expected the Chargers to hold that lead last night? Thank you, Cole Johnson, for that.
Yes. Do that again.
And to prove how much of a genius Cole Johnson is, after the walk-off field goal, the Jaguar fans in Alltel Stadium was doing this. And while I'm taking the show off the rails, after the Seahawks got a field goal at the end of the first half, I did this while swearing.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. The host needs to collect himself for a moment or two. Please stand by. The host simply can't believe how people can be such dolts and idiots. Please stand by. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming, already in progress.
I knew you'd like that one.
Oh, that's as great as
I knew you'd like that
one. That's as great as Stupid University. Like, it's in the same category.
Oh, did you say Stupid University?
Brandon, give it to him. Give him Stupid University, Snowman.
So I realized that I think, even though it's not advertised,
right,
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, Stupid University. Yeah, all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Vámonos, dominos, vámonos. Stupid University, where everyone graduates. Magna cum stupid.
I had to give him that one. That's courtesy of Chris Bass and, of course, Cole Johnson, who gave us the video for that.
The top two is that one, and of course, penis water. That is another great one. My two favorite ones by Chris Bass all time. Snowman.
We're gonna wear that. We're gonna wear the second one out on Friday because that's when Bass is on with us. Oh, I can't forget this one either. Thank you, Sick, for this. As far as what happened yesterday with the Los Angeles Chargers, and that's one of the few times I say it, they became a member of this. Me, because there was no team effort in the second half. None.
Nope.
There was no team effort in the second half. And no one can tell me otherwise. Because you don't blow a 27-0 lead in a playoff game.
They didn't want it bad enough. There's no way that they wanted it bad enough if you're going to give up that much of a deficit. Or either that or your play calling was so suspect that first round that the first half that they just ultimately fixed it in a locker room, which is potentially, could have been what the ultimate decision making of the Jacksonville Jaguars was change this and this and this because X, Y, and Z just isn't working out in the first half. Now, Snowman and I covered this on episode 72 of the Inner Out Sports Debate. You got to get from A to B to get to 7 and then get to Z. So when you put all that geology together, and I said geology, right? Not geometry. This is geology mixed with geometry for geometry.
Geometry.
There
you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you got to get from A to B to 7 to pi to Z.
Yes. And that pi is just eating a slice of pizza while you try to figure out the first few steps to get to Z.
Yes.
So that is.
You don't know what the first few steps are.
You don't. The 7 could be a coordinate. That's for you to figure out. Get back to me on it. I'll tell you if that's correct. But
if anybody's familiar with Raiders of the Lost Ark, all you need is to see that Roman numeral 7 when you're digging for something, okay? That equation explains the Chargers-Jaguars game. It explains the Ravens-Bengals game. And it sure as hell explains the Giants-Vikings game. Because we all said, you included, that when the Giants beat the Vikings in the playoffs, it was not an upset. It would not be an upset.
Yep.
Because the Giants are a better team. They don't have the record to show for it, 9-7-1, but the Giants are a better team. I mean, it took a 61-yard walk-off field goal for the Vikings to win. And the Vikings were 11-0 in one-possession games.
They were
11-1 now, but the Vikings, look, the Vikings couldn't keep up with the Giants.
I told you.
There was only one tie yesterday, and that was at 24 apiece.
I told you they were exposed in those 4 losses they had during the season last week when we were here, Snowman. And I mean,
because they got blown out.
Yes, and the teams that they lost to is just you got to compare and contrast here. And the Giants have been taking Deion Sanders' advice, and they're coming. He says, "I'm coming." They're coming. Now, will he lead them to the Super Bowl this year? No. But like I told you last night on Inner Out Sports Debate, they could be the team that could definitely potentially upset the 49ers. They could be a thorn in their side.
Listen, the Giants have been a historical thorn in the 49ers side for years. That's why I have no qualms in saying if there's a dangerous team in the NFC right now, it's the New York Giants. I have no qualms in saying that.
Yeah, not the Eagles because they're too banged up.
Yeah, the Eagles are banged up. If any team will give us fits like they have over the years with Tom Coughlin and Bill Parcells, it's the New York Giants. And I have no problem in saying that. I have no problem in saying that whatsoever because I've seen the history of these two. I've seen the history of these two teams. And the Giants have always in the regular season and especially in the postseason given us fits. They've given us fits. The same way the 49ers gave fits to the Seahawks on Saturday in that fourth quarter. Because it was a 6-point lead going into the fourth quarter. It was a close game. And then Deebo Samuel happened. And then Christian McCaffrey happened. And basically all hell broke loose in that fourth quarter. All hell broke loose in that fourth period. The money period, as I like to call it. But the Giants now go to Philadelphia. Tonight is a snooze fest between Tom Brady and the Buccaneers and the Arlington football team.
Arlington Desperados.
Listen, Cool McCain gave us the Arlington football team. All right.
I reincarnate that to the Arlington Desperados.
The Arlington Desperado, and they're going to be
that's a Legacy Maker Sports Network term.
They're going to be.
I can't take full credit for that, but I do know that it's a Legacy Maker Sports Network term.
They're going to be desperate tonight. They're going to absolutely be desperate tonight because Tom Brady is 7-0 against the Cowboys. It'll be 8 after tonight, And that's all I have to say about that. It's going to be 8-0 after tonight.
Snowman, to tallywhack with that here in a second. I like that background.
Thank you.
Keep that one. I like
Courtesy
that
of Cole Johnson.
That's my vote for. I like that one better than your last one. Your last one was good, but that one was dope. Now back to Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II.
Here we go with that again. Man, you wore that clip out last night.
It wasn't that I wore it out. It kind of fit with what I was saying. I've got a lot of feedback on it. I put a Facebook reel up on it. It's 1,000 views now, Snowman. I was like, holy shnikes. I didn't think it's going to be that quick, but me going off about one TEPB2, that's what I will say to keep calm this time of day.
You know what's funny? Every time you threw that clip up there, it fit. It fit the point that you were talking about. If y'all missed it, go check that out on our In and Out Sports Debate, episode 72. It'll be it'll be rebroadcast on the SDM Sports Radio Network. Man, everything fit when you did that rant last night. Everything fit because you only said it live once. Every other time, because I saw you looking for it, you're like, wait, I got that button here somewhere. And you had that button ready every time you wanted to say it.
Crushed it. That was definitely fun.
We did. That explains this one. So how bad will the Arlington Desperados, a.k.a. the Arlington football team, get beat up tonight? Will they make them go and run out?
No, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I also don't think that it's going to be a high-scoring contest either because, Tom Brady's had some flashes in the pan this year where he's looked like his own self, but it's only been like for a handful of games.
Right.
He struggled the majority of this season and willed this team in the playoffs. Now, you give him as much hard time as you do, but be 45 years old.
And still slinging it.
And will this team and will a team that doesn't deserve to be here. It does not deserve to be in the playoffs. But
look at that. Look at that division.
Yeah.
Look at that division.
2
years ago, it was one of the most competitive divisions in the league, and now it's a tank division.
Well, now that Drew Brees is gone and the direction of the other teams.
Brees is gone. Newton is gone. Matt Ryan, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, they kind of won it by default. Now, he still had to come back from a hard year to get back to this point to be able to get into the playoffs.
Right.
So it's really hard to come up with the score, but if I were to really say, I would say 27-24 Tampa Bay. It's going to be close.
I'd say 19-10.
Okay.
It was 19-3 the first time they played in week 1 this year. It'll be 19. I think it'll be 19-10.
I was trying to give them a little bit more just because of the drama of the playoffs. I mean, everybody does step it up, at this point.
Yeah.
They don't have as many players banged up on both teams as, say, the Eagles do. The Eagles are probably the most banged up playoff team, and it's great for them to have this week off. The Chiefs are going to be a team in the AFC. They're going to be the most scariest team that they're going to have to. I mean, it's probably just as good as that Super Bowl team that they had a few years back.
Now, what if it winds up being Chiefs and Bengals in the AFC title game?
Well, based on what we saw yesterday against the Ravens, I don't think the Bengals have a shot this year.
No.
They don't look as good as they did last year, and they got hot last year.
Now, why couldn't Miami close the deal?
Now, that was an interesting game yesterday. That 1 o'clock game was very interesting.
It was 17-0 Bills. It should have been 21-0, but it was 17-0 Bills, and all of a sudden the wheels fell off.
When we see a game like we did the night before, where Jacksonville came back on the Chargers, like we were talking about, and that we see that kind of comeback, you would think that seeing that on the end for the Dolphins yesterday, we would see a victory in their point. Had they had Tua, if Tua was on the team and he did his Tagovailoa magic, we would have had a win for the Dolphins yesterday.
You think
so?
But
with everything that's been going on with the concussions for him, of course, that wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
So you got your third string quarterback in there, Skylar Thompson in there. There's something about third string quarterbacks this year, Snowman, that keep getting the light of day. But you've got the best third string, the best Mr. Irrelevant there probably ever was, if we were going to say at this point, because I will at least give you that.
Still a mountain to climb, though. Still a mountain to climb.
After Saturday's victory, I'll give you that he is now the best Mr. Irrelevant.
He threw for 330 on Saturday.
He made 330 look pretty.
He made 330 look pretty. And check this out. The number that should scare even the Giants. Seattle surrendered 505 yards. That's a season high for San Francisco. And the first time they've had 500 in a playoff game. I heard this stat. I'm going to butcher it, but I want to get it right. I think this is the first time they've had 500 yards plus in a playoff game since 1989.
Really? Wow, that's interesting. I mean, Brock Purdy, like we were saying, he threw for 330 and 3 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, though, on 15 touches, 119 yards, averaging nearly 8 yards per carry. He is back to where he was pre-injury. Like, Kyle Shanahan has been utilizing him perfect. And that's been one of the biggest things that has kept this team alive. And that's something you have to acknowledge too, Snowman. Had they not made that trade for Christian McCaffrey, all of this would not have happened.
All of this would not be happening. You're right. You're absolutely right, because Christian McCaffrey right now has been the biggest key to the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed off against the Rams. I mean, he had few touches against Kansas City, and we got blown to bits at Levi's Stadium. That left us at 3-4. Going into a big game against the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles, and McCaffrey throws for a touchdown, he catches a touchdown, and runs in for a touchdown, and basically since that game put the rest of the NFC on notice. And since that game, not only has Kyle Shanahan schemed McCaffrey to get open and do what he does best, he's also schemed him to stay healthy.
Yeah, it's definitely that's been what's definitely been the big spark for this team. It's been keeping them going throughout all the adversities between losing their 1 and then 2, resorting to 3, and like 3 has been the best resort of any third string I think I've ever seen in NFL history. So I'll give you that. Still don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Still don't think they're going to get to the Super Bowl, Snowman. But we'll see how they do this next weekend against a team that wins tonight, and most likely will be led by Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II.
Now, you already know, and I'm going to make you laugh. Now, you already know we already kicked his ass at Levi's Stadium. And should it be the Buccaneers, which I'm hoping, because I don't want Cowboy fans in my face, we're going to kick his ass again.
But you know what heavily involves playoffs, Snowman? A little bit more than the regular season. And that's Vegas.
How do the Raiders get involved in this? No, I'm just kidding. You left that one open.
FanDuel,
you left that one open, though.
I did.
You left that one open. But
I could have said New York, but when I say Vegas, it's like ultimately
when you say New York, and this guy shows up.
Mm-hmm.
What's up,
Wise El Jefe? What's up, my brother?
What's up, Wise? A Pizzle in the house with us. Hey, drop your questions in the chat. That's how we'll close up shop. After a break, we'll answer some questions and we'll put a bow on this bad boy. You are watching and listening to the Sports Senseis with Drew and Brian. We're back in a minute.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but The technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix, and that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
Hey everyone, I'm joined by my old friend, Mr. Ellis Williams, aka Mr. Biggs. You called me and you told me, you said, man, I got Car Shield and it worked. What made you get it?
I have this old SUV and I know the manufacturer warranty is about to run out. I didn't want to get stuck with expensive car repairs.
Right.
So I gave Car Shield a call. Coverage was very affordable and there was no long-term contract. A few months after that, transmission went on my car. I took it to my mechanic, they called Car Shield and saved my family and I $2,400.
Car Shield is America's #1 auto protection company. Their administrators have paid out over $1 billion in claims and cover most vehicles from 5,000 to 150,000 miles. You'll receive 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental reimbursement at no additional charge.
Give Car Shield a call today before it's too late. Remember,
Car Shield cars go farther.
Protect yourself now against expensive auto repair bills. Call 800-513-9263.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network, presents a Sertoba Media production where the struggle is real to be awesome.
Acknowledge me.
You should know your role and shut your mouth!
Drew and Company's Kayfabe Express will premiere a week from tomorrow. January 24th, we'll drop the first episode of Kayfabe Express. I'm looking forward to it. I hope y'all are too. It's going to be a lot of fun. And congratulations to you, Mr. Drew Willingham, for Kayfabe Express. I know it's something you've been working on for a while, and I know it's going to take off. So a week from tomorrow, January 24th, the premiere of Kayfabe Express. And you can catch it on the Legacy Maker Sports Network as well as the SDM Sports Radio Network. It'll be nothing but honor to carry that show. We're gonna got a couple questions here, or a question here, and a Pizzle posed it. Who starts next year, Lance or Purdy? Purdy. That's easy.
It depends. It depends on how this next game goes. All right, Snowman, I'll give you this. If he wins this next game and plays like he did in the last game, I can see that happening. But if you go against Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II, or hell, I mean, I've been throwing so much shade on the Cowboys, but even if they face the Cowboys and whichever one of the two teams and they lose,
either of their asses, huh?
I'm just saying, what if the 49ers lose? Then in the divisional game, then the discussion already begins. Trey Lance or Purdy.
You stay with Purdy. I mean, he's giving you more than enough film, and people, teams have more than enough film to figure out how to stop Brock Purdy, and they haven't yet. You stay with Purdy. You roll with Purdy. Sig Diggy dropped us a question from Norway. How much rebuilding will be required for the Los Angeles Rams to become a championship caliber team? A lot. They need some draft capital, and they traded it all away. The first thing they need is a quarterback, because Baker Mayfield's not going to be the solution, nor is Matthew Stafford. Because Stafford's what, 34? And we all saw the disaster Baker Mayfield had in Carolina. He didn't even finish the season there.
I just don't know about Brock Purdy in only 7 games played. You say there's enough film on him to have him as your number one going into next year. I'm still stuck on that. I don't know in 6 regular season games.
I'm playing a gut feeling. You go with Purdy, because
if he loses this divisional game, I say no. If he wins the divisional game,
win or lose,
then I'll give you your receipt on that.
Win or lose, Win or lose, you stay with Purdy. You can't even say that without laughing. You can't even say that without laughing.
I'm trying over here, Snowman. I'm trying.
I know you're trying. I'm trying too. And we're both here laughing. What's that tell you?
I know.
What's that tell you? It tells you we're having a lot of fun doing it. Sick
Facts.
Diggy and A Pistol here in the house with us. Hero in the Apocalypse hanging out with us as well. Thanks to you, and thanks to Wise El Jefe hanging out with us as well. And the man, the myth, the legend himself, Cole Sports.
Cole!
Hanging out with us. And that will be on air Wednesday afternoon on Cole's YouTube channel and the SDM Sports Network. So we're picking up a lot of great podcasts and a lot of great shows. So hang on with us, folks. You say there's limited tape on Purdy. There's only 3 games of footage with Lance.
Yeah, that's a better point.
The third game with Lance is not even completed.
No, I'll give you that. No, you're
There's only 2.5 games with Lance. You got more than enough footage on Purdy to determine he's your quarterback going forward, because this is a point that Cole said to me. Purdy has been the most comfortable in that West Coast offense since Steve Young.
Yeah.
I mean, the first name that Cole mentioned to me was Jeff Garcia, but he's even more comfortable. He's even more comfortable than him. I mean, Steve Young, we know what Steve Young did to run that offense. And now you got Kyle Shanahan. And who was Steve Young's offensive coordinator? Mike Shanahan.
Yeah, it just took Steve Young a lot longer to get into the game than what Brock Purdy will get. Like Steve Young, had to go through a lot more ups and downs than what in that position on that franchise than what
it took an injury to their franchise quarterback and Joe Montana for that to happen. And Montana was out for 2 years.
Facts.
In nearly 2 years. So it came to a point, just like it did here, didn't have a choice. An injury dictated that move, just like an injury dictated this one.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, 2 injuries dictated the move for Purdy. The injury to Lance and the injury to Garoppolo.
Yep.
It took 2 injuries to dictate this move. But when an injury dictates a move and you see what you see, and it didn't take long for Young to get really, really immersed in this offense. It didn't take long. But it did take a while for him to really get better. That 94 season with Steve Young really brought out, even though he won 2 passing titles, he won the MVP in 1992. It really was that 1994 season where he set and broke all kinds of records for him to really get immersed and comfortable in that offense. That's why I say with Purdy, win or lose next weekend, and he's at home, go with him. Stick him in the offense. Stick him in the offense and give him the playbook. Here's the drive. Here's the point where I feel or felt Purdy is the man going forward. There's 2 minutes left in the first half, and they're playing Tampa Bay. 49ers up 21-0. And Greg Olsen said it during that broadcast. Let's see how aggressive Kyle Shanahan is with Brock Purdy as your quarterback. Because you know how aggressive you want to be with Jimmy Garoppolo starting, because Garoppolo is the veteran presence in the offense. He knows the offense. He's been there a few years. Man, that dime he dropped to Brandon Ayuk to take it from 21-0 to 28-0, that shows you, A, how uber aggressive Kyle Shanahan can be with this offense, and B, that shows how much trust the team and the coaching staff has in Brock Purdy. That shows exactly how much trust they have in Brock Purdy. I mean, with that alone, and the fact that they didn't panic after being down 17-16 against Seattle and knowing they were getting the ball to start the third quarter, Purdy can run that offense blindfolded. And he marched them right down the field. And the best part about that drive, and I will say it again, they chewed up almost 11 minutes on that 17-play drive. 11 minutes. with a third string quarterback. A mix of run, a mix of pass, a mix of and they converted 4 third downs on that drive. Two big ones, a big one to George Kittle and a bigger one to Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
Each of those was plus 50. Each of those passes were plus 15 yards. But if you haven't seen that, I don't think I still have it, but I'll try and pull it up here. How comfortable can Brock Purdy be in that offense? Go back to the game against Seattle in Seattle, where they had a chance to clinch the division. And then Kyle Shanahan and his mastermind does this.
Fake toss. 2 fake tosses, and then to Kittle over the middle. Touchdown, San Francisco.
And with all those weapons around him, all he can do is get better. All Brock Purdy can do with those weapons around him is get better.
Do you agree with Sick? They should keep Lance and Jimmy G?
I'm on the fence about Lance.
You can get draft capital back for him if you trade him now.
Exactly. And that's what the 49ers need going forward, because they're going to be a competitive team for a long time, because I really believe they have found their quarterback of the future. All he has to do is stay healthy, and he can run that offense blindfolded. Trey Lance can get you some draft capital. I mean, much love to him, but he can't run this offense the same way Brock Purdy can. To a point, he can't run the offense the same way Jimmy Garoppolo can. The biggest, it's not a secret weapon anymore. The biggest weapon that Brock Purdy presents to this 49ers offense, mobility.
Yep.
And that's why the comparison to Steve Young comes up. Montana was mobile for a while, but as he got older, he stayed in the pocket more. I mean, Steve Young did the same thing, learning how to be a pocket passer. But Steve Young not only ran, but ran people over.
Yeah. But you can't say Steve Young is better than Tom Brady, though.
He is better than Tom Brady.
Come on, Snowman. What's in that cup today?
Ice water.
Come on, Snowman.
Look, I will say this once. See, you can't even offer an argument without laughing.
I can't, because you said Steve Young's better than Tom Brady.
He is.
No, he's not.
Hell, Montana's better than Tom Brady.
Cole,
and I can prove it by saying this sentence right here. Everything that Tom Brady has achieved, Montana did first.
I'm talking about Steve Young. You said Steve Young's better than Tom Brady. Get out of here.
He is.
No, he's not.
He is.
No, he is not.
Yes, he is.
Sports with a Z, help me out before I take that Z and shove it up Snowman's rear end. He's not making any sense right now.
Give me my microphone here. I know this is a tripod, but I'll use it as a microphone. You're a big wrestling fan. You love The Rock just as much as I do. And if you don't understand that, you damn sure will understand this. Good old-fashioned USA, just bring it. I've been wanting to say that for a while. I've been wanting to bring it.
No, Cole. We're talking. He said Steve Young is better than Tom Brady.
He is.
Not Montana. Steve Young.
The greatest lefty quarterback to ever play the game.
Steve Young.
Okay, so you're getting some help. He can't go with it, but I can.
Thank you. No, you put it back up there for longer than a half a second, Snowman. You put it there. It's flashing.
There.
No, there it is. Come on, Snowman.
One.
Come on, Cole. I still see you.
No. There's one thing. I will say this. There's one thing that Steve Young has. There's a record that Steve Young has that Tom Brady does not have. Touchdown passes in a Super Bowl game.
Well, you piss him off enough, he's going to come back at you with that, and he's going to do it this year, Snowman. He's going to have like 8 touchdowns in the Super Bowl this year. And
that ain't going to happen because it doesn't matter who we play next weekend. They're going to get obliterated.
Yeah.
And the key to next weekend is the most dangerous thing about this 49er team right now in 3 words. 4 words. They are completely healthy. Because think about it. All throughout this 10-game regular season winning streak, they always had someone missing, whether it be Debo, whether it be McCaffrey, whether it be someone along the offensive line, whether it be a question about Nick Bosa. They missed Dre Greenlaw for 3 games. They missed Fred Warner for a game. They didn't even have Javon Kinlaw for half of the season. They're outstanding defensive lineman out of South Carolina. The scariest thing about this 49er team right now, they are completely healthy. Not to mention they are deep at every position.
Yes.
They are deep at every position. And the second half adjustments that the secondary made to keep Seattle in check, especially when Seattle tried to march down the field and get the go-ahead touchdown, the defense came up with a huge play, which basically took the game away from Seattle, and that was the strip sack.
Yep.
The scariest thing right now, and I'll close with this, the scariest thing right now for anybody, Giants included, but I know the Giants are going to give us hell should it come to that. The 49ers are completely healthy. That should frighten the daylights out of people. They are completely healthy. And the fact that we have Javon Kinlaw back on that defensive line, I wish this was something other than ice water right about now, but I still have work to do this afternoon. Royston Gibbs, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Greetings, Royston. Greetings. Greetings. Talk some sense into Snowman. He's up in here trying to say Steve Young is better than one Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II.
You quit saying his full name.
Get over that. You stop picking people. You probably say Kurt Warner's better than Tom Brady.
I won't say that.
Okay.
I won't say that. But Kurt Warner was the first to throw for 400 in the Super Bowl.
He was.
Now, Brady's done that 4 times, okay, including a 500-yard game. And yes, Royston, the Giants did win, like we all predicted. Everyone on the panel, Drew included, Friday when we did our picks, picked the Giants. The Vikings weren't in a matchup. Come on.
Yeah, last Monday, couldn't say it enough how much I was going to pick the Giants to win that game, and they definitely did not disappoint. So I was definitely happy to see that they kept that thing going for us.
Now, I got one about one Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins. Why are you throwing a 3-yard out pass on a 4th and 8? You got to get 8 yards. Why aren't you throwing something past the sticks?
It made no sense, no man. None whatsoever. I didn't get where that play call came from.
Ooh, Cole took a shot, and I'll let you read it.
Oh, God, here we go. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. needs to retire and repair his marriage. Cole, you are absolutely correct. I'm not disputing that whatsoever. However, I will say this. He has a really good shot.
Mood him.
Next year.
You realize they missed that because I said mood him and I pressed the button.
And Cole, you're right. As I've been predicted for weeks with you, saying that the Minnesota Vikings were exposed in all 4 of those losses this year.
Yes.
And basically
yes.
that they were going to lose to the Giants this past weekend. Me, Snowman, you called it. Right on the money.
Yep. Paul Allen.
Are you kidding me?
On that last play of the game. That last play of the game.
That is blasphemous. That is blasphemous.
How dare you? Yeah, that's where Stephen A. was going with that.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
And he was spot on with that.
Listen, I got a few sounds for that last play yesterday.
Bruh.
Being one of them.
Bazinga.
Being another.
Are you kidding me?
That just seemed to fit.
It did. It totally did.
Paul Allen made that call in 2016 after Blair Walsh chunked a 27-yard field goal and missed it wide.
Mm-hmm. It did, and
are you kidding me?
He's still not as bad as what was that guy's name for the Bills back in the day, Scott Norwood.
Oh God, why right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have his miss.
No.
But,
Cole Sports. We're talking with the fans here while we wrap it up. Paul Allen probably did say that yesterday after the turnover on downs. I'm not surprised.
Me neither. Look,
and I got the perfect question that every Viking fan at US Bank Stadium was asking yesterday after that 3-yard check down on a 4th and 8.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Crispy.
As the Giants gave him a
Tiger uppercut.
4th and 8, and you're going to throw a check down.
What in the all types of blue hell?
I thought the idea was
you play to win the game.
Yes.
Say again, Herm Edwards.
You play to win the game.
And after that last play,
you're despicable.
Every fan at US Bank Stadium has got to be saying,
"What the hell is going on?"
Hang on, I gotta read one. Cole Sports threw one out there, but I'm gonna read it like I would if this was a sick diggy statement.
Oh
sick.
No!
Sick. If you want to give me a Slackjaw VPN before we get out of here, I'll be happy to read that off too.
Yeah, give me that one.
This one's for Cole.
Okay.
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II needs to retire and chase some mid-age trim. Now, we may have to give credit to Dexter Lawrence in forcing that check down size. I had to do that afterwards as well because he.
Of course.
Yeah.
I still think all of Minnesota was saying,
"Are you kidding me?"
I'll try to do 6 off memory. If I can, I'll try to do it. All right.
Hey, Sid, can you give us that slack jaw?
Here goes.
Okay.
Drew Willingham is brought to you by Slackjaw VPN. If you need to do some slacking on the down low, choose Slackjaw VPN for smooth slacking. I think that was it.
I think that's it.
Are you kidding
me? What's that one?
Current Affair. Remember the show, A Current Affair?
Yeah, no, I don't. But I'm going to look that up because I've heard that term before, and I like it. But I got it.
Typed
it up.
You got it. You got it.
Up, but I feel like the way that I did it was right. So I'm gonna
do it again. Do it again.
This episode is brought to you by Slackjaw VPN. When you need to slack off on the down low, choose Slackjaw VPN for smooth slacking.
You know I'm gonna cut the hell out of that. Cole, you got your next project. Wait, I'm gonna pay a tribute to Cole here with some of the stuff he's come up with. I already played Stupid University. We had this one this morning. This Coffee with McCarthy is sponsored by Steph Curry Cognac. One, and it's lights out.
I love
That's one of the best.
I love
That's one of the best. And for you, in honor of Chris Bass,
Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson is brought to you by Penis Water for the ebbs and flows of life. Trust Penis 15 Water.
That's a new one. I haven't seen this one, but I haven't seen that one before. Where does the 15 come from?
I don't know.
Oh man,
I don't know where that one came from. I don't know. Oh Lord.
The yellow behind it.
That's the genius of Cole Johnson, okay? You know that's the genius of Cole Johnson. This is brought to you by Clearwater Laxatives. When it gets muddy, Clearwater is your buddy.
Oh, I wanted to do it.
Go for it. Take it. Go for it.
This madness is brought to you by Clearwater Laxatives. When it gets muddy, Clearwater is your buddy. Oh, that was great. That was great.
Clearwater Laxatives? My stomach hurts.
Rod, what are you talking about? Disney movie now because it's coming.
Oh, Lord.
What are you talking? I'm still trying to get over Clearwater Laxatives.
You know what? I got something for Rod here. Hold on. Yeah. Hey, Rod, take this.
Boot him.
The end of the show is.
That thing crashed.
Yes. And that's Cole Johnson's production, okay? So here's what happened with penis water. So Ryan tried to sell. I can't even read this.
He couldn't spell it.
I can't even.
So Ryan tried to sell. He tried to sell.
Folks, we got to get out of here.
This is you guys crushed it in the chat today. Like I got to give
acknowledgement.
I got to give acknowledgement to that because I was tearing up trying to read all that. That was great, guys. Every Monday,
thank you guys so much.
Every Monday, I have a blast doing this with Snowman at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys for being here. Before we get out of here, got to give a shout out tonight at 7:05 p.m. Eastern, episode 73 of the In or Out Sports Debate on Legacy Maker Sports Network, and tomorrow night, episode 74 with the real Dwayne Allen from the wrestling realm. Corey Mann tonight, the real Dwayne Allen tomorrow night. It's going to be great, but I've had a blast.
I just read 6 comments.
I've had a blast with Snowman over the course of the past. It's been 2 episodes in 24 hours.
Read this.
I just realized that Rod West is a Disney princess on the down low. So that's what Rod's auditioning for, is a Disney movie he's trying to get us to stay tuned in.
We're getting out of here, folks.
You guys are awesome.
You guys were great. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Sports Senseis Unleashed. We're out of here. See you next Monday.